Hi everyone, this is Mr. Cryer, and I just want to go through a little tutorial about how to use Seesaw, how to create a classroom, add students, add activities, and just make the most out of your Seesaw experience in case you are trying to use it or you're new to it. So when you go to seesaw.com, you're going to have to sign in as a teacher, and you have to create an account, and then you'll have to create a new class, and you want to name your class. I'll just do it as sample class, and choose your grade level. And then when you're in here, you're going to want to add students. So if you click on the settings button over here, you're going to add students. Do you want them to use their Google account? You do not, because the easiest way is to just have them enter a code or scan the code. And they do have one-to-one devices. They each have their own, so you want to click that. So we'll just, this is where you enter in each kid's name, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, and you just put in all 20 whatever kids that you have, and then we're done. So we click that. Getting students signed in. So to get signed in, they're going to have the Seesaw class app if they're using a tablet or a mobile device. Otherwise, they can just go to Seesaw on a regular computer. They'll choose that they're a student, and then they'll either enter in this code or scan this code. All right, so you can print the student sign-in poster, and it'll take you to this screen where it'll give directions for teachers, and then this is the student direction page. So what I would do is I would snip this, and then I would send it to the parents in an email so they have the code that they can scan in. When they scan the code, it'll take them to the class, and then they just need to pick their own name. So they'll see the list of 20 some kids' names, and they choose their name, and then every time they go into Seesaw now, it'll be automatically in that class that you created as themselves. They don't need to do this each time. So I'll go back, and we'll just assume that the kids are in, and you see your kids over here and how many items they've submitted. So if you want to add activities for them to do, because right now there are no activities, you can add and assign an activity for the kids to do. You have options. You can either go into the community and you can sort it by grade level, by subject, or you can even search a specific skill as well. And these are all different activities that other teachers have created. And they even have some remote learning activities, home learning, creative thinking. So if I'm just looking for a math activity on, let's say, time to the hour, they have a bunch of different activities where you can just click on it and assign it. So let's look at uh, this one, time to the hour and half hour. So I don't want that one because I'm looking for time to the hour. But this one's nice because it's a little sorting activity. Uh, so here are directions. If you're going to use a community one, they oftentimes already have the directions there. You assign to your class and assign it. And then when the students sign in, they'll go to activities and they'll see it. So if I go back to class, under activities, there it is. And the way they'll do it is they'll add a response, and this is what their screen will look like. So if it's a sorting activity like this, they'll be able to click and drag to wherever they need to. 10 o'clock, and they can do that. And if they wanted to type or they had to type, let's say this was not a sorting activity, if they needed to type, they click the text button, and the text box comes up here, and they can type in 4 for 4 o'clock, and then they can move that there. And they can change the size of it, they can change the color of it. So that's a good tool. If you did not want them to type, if there's something you wanted them to write, you could use any of the drawing tools down here, and they could just write what time it is. They could write 5 o'clock, So that's good, a good tool. There's also highlighting. If you wanted them to highlight something, I'm not saying you'd want them to highlight this per se up here, but if you had a reading activity where you wanted them to highlight certain words or like compound words, they could use the highlighting tool. And you also have the recording button here, which would record their voice. If I clicked this, it would give them a countdown, 3, 2, 1. And then if you're doing like a fluency or a short story that you want them to read the sentences aloud, they could record themselves reading this. And so that's that. And then when they're done, you can click the check mark and it would be submitted. Now, it would come up their name because they were the ones that submitted it. And now it comes up in what is called the journal, which is kind of like a news feed for the kids and for you to see. All activities need to be approved, reviewed and approved by you as the teacher before other kids see it though in this news feed. So that's kind of nice. And I'll show you what that looks like in mine real quick. So right now, these in the news feed have been reviewed and approved by me, and I've liked them if they're good, and I've commented if I need the kids to work on something. These ones in my review have been submitted by the kids, but they have not been reviewed by me, so the other kids cannot see it yet. Okay? So, like for, let's see, for this kiddo, I had to give him some directions about picking one of them. So I'm hoping that he sees that and and possibly fixes it. Or for Jocelyn, I wanted her to read this, record using the recording tool as well. So if she fixes that, then I'll approve it so everybody else can see as well. So I'll go back to our sample class. Now, if you wanted to create an activity yourself, that's okay too. You can do that. So you want to create a new activity, and you might label it telling time to the hour. You can type in your own directions here. You could type in a multimedia instruction here, which I think is good for attaching videos. Like, for example, if you wanted to have the kids watch a video first, that would help them with the instruction. Let's telling time to the half hour. But let's just say you wanted to attach this video here to help them with telling time. You can add a multimedia instruction, which is like a link, and that when they click on that, it'll take them to the video. When you want them to do an activity though with that, you would add template for student response. And this is where you can upload a document. And maybe I do the math pages telling time to the hour, because that's what that video was. So they'll be able to manipulate these pages using the drawing tool. If they're on a laptop, they should be able to see the different pages over here. If they're on a device, this won't show up over here. I think they'll have to swipe to get to the next page. So that's okay. So I attach that document, and you don't have to attach 4 pages. You could just take a snip of one page, save it as a PDF in a Word document, and then that's your file that you upload if you want to just do one page as well. So here again is where you can type your directions, watch the video, complete the math pages. And we'll save it. And we'll assign it to your class. All the students should be there. And that's it. Now when you assign, you can edit the students that you wanted. If you want to only assign an activity to a certain number of students, you can do that as well. You can organize some things by folders if you want to create a reading folder or a math folder. But if I go back to class now, when they go to activities, they're going to see these activities for them to complete. And when they complete it, it will no longer be under activities for them. So if they want to add a response, when they view the instructions, here's the link for them to be taken to the video that they should watch first. And then they'll do the activity. Okay? They could also click just right here to get to that video as well. So that's another way to assign activities for them to complete in math. Now for reading activities, you can do the same thing where you assign activity, create an activity. We'll say this is AR sound. We can add a multimedia, and I have an AR video here that I want them, so I just copied that. I can upload the link, and now that's the instructional resource that they have to use. And then I can add a template for them to respond, and I just snipped the workbook page and saved it as a PDF that again they can type on, they can write on, they can record themselves reading the words right on here. So now this is what the student view will be when I assign it to them, and they can use the typing tool to type in the word. They can use the recording tool to read the words. They can write their own sentence. They can use the drawing tools, whatever you want them to use that's available there for them to use. So now if I assign this, I can type in the directions here what you want them to do. But now there's a reading activity for them to do, and I'll assign it to the whole class. I'll go back to class, and there's the AR sound activity, and you can see how many responses there are, how many are waiting for you to approve it, and how many have not responded yet. In Journal, again, you can see the different kids and what they have completed as well. What's also nice about Seesaw is the students can add their own work if they want without there even being an assignment. They can record themselves reading, they can take pictures of what they're doing. For example, I have kiddos that are taking screenshots or pictures of their ST Math progress and sharing it because that's what I asked them to do. I have kids that are sharing read-alouds. Like Dagny shared a read-aloud. She just recorded herself by adding a video, and then she shared it with us. There is a 5-minute limit on the videos that they can share, and again, everything needs to be reviewed and approved by you before anybody else sees it, so that's what's nice about it too. So for my activities for the week, I had assigned a link to compound words and an activity that I found on Seesaw for them to record themselves reading these sentences and highlight or circle the compound words. And for ST Math, I just posted a picture of ST Math I got off of Google, and I asked them to go up 1%, and then I can see their progress on the computer, or they can post a picture of it too. So I've been tracking that. So these are just a couple of the different ways that you can use Seesaw by adding activities from the community or creating them yourself. Now when I'm done with these, I can delete the activity, and then they will not, or I can archive it, and they can no longer see it then, so I can roll out the next set of activities. And I can always put the date or the week in the title as well. One last helpful thing that might be helpful for your kids to know and to relay this information to them is if they do an activity and they do make a mistake that you have to comment and ask them to change it, these 3 little dots, instead of doing the whole activity, they can click on it, and there's going to be an edit button for them where they can edit their work, so that way they don't have to resubmit the whole thing again. So I hope this video helped you just get a little kickstart into the capabilities that Seesaw has, and creating class and assigning activities and reviewing them is super simple. It's easy for the kids to use. They really enjoy it because there's a variety of sorting and videos and pictures and highlighting and drawing and typing, and they really do enjoy seeing each other's work and commenting on each other's stuff as well. So I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, just send me an email. And actually, one last tool I want to show you is how you can send an announcement to all your kids, and that can be a note or a video, and then the student announcements will come in to them where you can share read-alouds and share information for them all to see, and you can see who's seen it. All right, that's all. Thanks.